Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me start the session. So this course is about Linux administration, which will be about like 1 month duration. So if required, if it is required, we can extend few days also, like 32 to 34 days, roughly. Okay. Okay. So you are not able to hear? Just a moment. Yes, my voice is audible now. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, can I continue? Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So myself is Sunil. I'll be taking you Linux administration session, which will be about like 32 to 35 days duration. This time will be fixed 10 to 11. And in this course, we are going to discuss about the topics, which is the combination of RSCSA. Some topics of the RSCA is also there, but not all, but completely all the topics of RSCSA, plus some of the topics which are relevant and required in industry, that also is there. So that is a combination of both RSCSA, RSCSA, Red Hat Certified System Associate, plus the topics which will be required in the industry. Those combination is there. So I'll go through the topics which we'll be going to cover in this course. Okay, so before I go to the topics, let me just revise. Let me just try to know what is Linux from you, because this course is about Linux administration. So what is Linux according to you? You can unmute your mic and tell, or you can just write the in the chat box. Yes, all of you, Rajshekhar, Rohit, Sidhu. Okay. What is Linux according to you?
Linux is open source operating systems.
Okay. Okay, fine. What about others? Rohit and Sidhu. Just I want to know, then we'll proceed. Yes, I got answer from Rajshekhar. Others, Rohit and Sidhu. Yes, can I get it from Rohit and Sidhu? You are able to hear me, Rohit? Yes.
Yeah, could you please repeat your question if possible?
I said we are discussing the Linux administration, no? So according to you, what is Linux? Just I wanted to know.
Uh, as far as I know, Linux is an open source operating system, particularly widely used by the people who do not want the licensed one. This is the open sourced one. It provides a lot of opportunity for the users to create their own configuration and tweaking according to their requirement. And most of the servers, which are either cloud server or some other servers, are mostly based out of Linux kernel only.
Okay, fine. Fine. And Sidhu, because I got from Rajshekhar also, Rajashekhar, Rohit. Only you left, Sidhu. Can you just repeat? what according to you is?
हाँ अंदर ही है, कट कर दिया मामा। प्रतीक फोन करा, देखो कट कर दिया।
Okay. Yes, can I get a reply from you, Sidhu? I'm just waiting for you, then I'll just continue with the session. You are able to hear me? Just give me a second. I'm getting a call, 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, there was a call actually. So can I continue? I didn't get a reply from Sidhu. I don't know he's listening to me or not. Can I continue? Okay. So whatever answer you gave, it was very nice, both of you, Rajshekhar and Reddy. Sorry, Rajshekhar and Rohit Kumar. Sidhu didn't reply. Okay. So that is the exactly thing. So I think you already know about the Linux. So let me just elaborate a little bit further. So as you both of you said, what is Linux means, in one word we can say it is an open source operating system. It's an open source operating system. So just to elaborate a little bit further in a simple way so that all of us can able to understand in simple and easy way. Let's suppose I have here one laptop or the desktop or any computer. So this is my computer and this is my computer. As you know, computer consists of hardware and software. But in this computer, there is no OS, brand new computer. In this, there is no OS. Now I'm trying to use this computer. Can I able to use this computer without any OS? Can I use this computer without OS?
No, sir.
We can't use. So everybody knows that we can't use the machine without OS.
Sir, your voice is very low, sir.
Okay, just let me check 1 minute. 1 second. I made it maximum. Is it okay now? Or is it still same? Is it okay now?
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay.
What about Rohit? Rohit,
Is it okay? Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you know, this is a machine without any OS, so we can't use it. So everybody knows that we can't use. So for that, there has to be some reason. Yes. What might be the reason? So let us try to understand in a simple way. Like suppose, like I belong to Telangana, so I know suppose only Telugu language. So let us assume you know only Hindi language. Now we need to communicate. So I know only Telugu, other than Telugu, I don't know. Example, you know only Hindi, other than Hindi, you don't know. So how we can tackle this issue now? If you are facing this type of scenario or issue, what you will do in that case? Yes, what we can do to communicate with each other?
Translator by using translators.
Yes, the simple and best method is what? We have to search for one person who knows my language and your language. You can call that as a translator, mediator. Yes. So exactly same thing here. Same thing here. Now what you can see, this is our computer. As you know, computer consists of hardware and software. So hardware understand which language? Computer hardware. Which language the computer hardware will understand?
System language.
Which is called what?
Machine language.
We can call that as a machine language, binary language, yes. Which is in the form of what? Zeros and ones. So machine or binary language is nothing but zeros and ones. As you know, the software understand which language? High level language. High level language, which is in the form of alphabet, numbers, special character. So it is similar to like that. I know Telugu, you know Hindi, like that. So software don't understand hardware, which is binary language, and hardware don't understand software, that is high level language. So they don't understand each other language. So between the hardware and the software, who is the mediator? Who is the mediator between hardware and software?
Operating system.
Yes. So that's what we need, the operating system. So now suppose you have some OS. So how you can define any OS? Any OS is a collection of program. Any operating system is a collection of programs. So this collection of program acts like a interface between the hardware and the software. Using this interface, so this collection of program acts like a interface between the hardware and the software. So using this interface, we human being can operate the computer. So that's why it is called operating system. That program can operate the system. So the most commonly used operating system in the world, maximum people in the world are using which OS? According to you, maximum people in the world are using which OS?
Windows.
Yes, there is no doubt about it. Maximum people are using Windows. The most popularly used three operating system in the world is, first is Windows. Next one, according to you? Next one, what is the next one?
Android, sir.
No, it's Linux. See, from the Linux and Android, they are similar, yes? Open source they are. And the next one is what? Mac. So these are the three most commonly used operating system being used in the world on the systems. We are purely talking about the systems, computers. So our course is based on which one? We are going to discuss which course now? This course we are going to discuss using which OS?
Linux.
Linux. So now, I don't know, you may be getting this issue, sorry, this question in your mind or not, but some people will get. If we are using maximum people using Windows, then why we are discussing the Linux? So for that, you can ask anybody who is working on the Windows or Linux. So Windows, why it is popular means mostly the people who are using their computer for home purpose or client purpose, they are using Windows because it is good for, like you can say, it is easy to operate. It is easy to operate graphically. But what is the problem you can face in that? In the Windows, its security is less. And the issue mostly with the license issue. They frequently used to raise the license key, but now since the Linux became the competitor to them and it is spreading very fast, now they are little bit like not frequent, they are not raising their license key as frequently they used to do earlier. So now coming to the Linux, why the people are thinking mostly in the companies on the servers, on the companies on the servers, we will find, you can check with any source, most of the company in the world are using their company servers mostly are operating on Linux. The clients mostly are using Windows, but servers are on Linux. So if you want to work on the side like servers, the very good option is to know about the Linux. So that's why we are discussing this course, Linux. And about the Mac, it has a very good security, but the problem with the Mac is they are the proprietary based operating system of the Apple company. So most of the things which are related with Apple, Apple only will support. Okay. So our focus will be on Linux. So let's focus on our Linux. Now suppose this is my machine. Now let me focus that this machine is installed with the Linux OS. Now, can I operate this computer with Linux OS? Yes, since we want to work like an administrator. So most of the servers are on Linux. So let us assume this, as our course is on Linux, let us assume in this computer Linux OS is installed. So as any operating system, Linux also is a collection of programs. Linux operating system is also a collection of programs. The collection of program here, the Linux operating system is a collection of programs. So this collection of program is logically divided into two levels. First level of the Linux operating system, first level of this program, complete program of the Linux OS is divided into two levels, level 1 and level 2. So level 1 means once we open the Linux operating system, the first level is called our shell. So as you know, in Windows, if you want to apply the command, we have to open the terminal. In Linux, if you want to apply the command, you have to open the terminal. So in Windows, we open what? Command prompt. In Linux, terminal. So once we open the terminal, what is the shell we are using by default? Once we open the terminal, we'll get by default which shell? /bin bash. This is the shell default in Linux we uses. And the level 2 program, main program of the Linux OS is called, second program is called Linux kernel, which is called the core or the brain of the Linux operating system. So let us try to understand what the shell will do and what the kernel will do. Okay, so let's start now. What is the purpose of the shell and what is the function of the kernel? Okay, so I'll be sharing you the files. So I have made 3 notepad files, one file for all the practical steps and 2 files for the theory related file. So here you can see Linux Linux is an open source operating system. As you people, both of you have said correctly. So what is open source? You know, or shall I need to explain that? Or shall we discuss this later? What is meant by open source?
Free of cost, sir.
No, free of cost is different. Open source is different. Yes.
Source code is visible. Source code is we can manipulate we can change
Yes,
anything
that
in
is
source
that
code.
is the answer. That is the exact answer. So can I elaborate little bit further? Open source means,
Yes, sir.
see, any operating system, what happens? It's a collection of program. Let's take most commonly used operating system is Windows, which is designed by Microsoft company under the Bill Gates. Yes. So Windows is designed by the Microsoft company under the Bill Gates. So they designed that OS by using the DOS. So whatever coding and the program they have written to develop that OS will it be able to, we can able to see that, or any OS except Linux can be able to see whatever coding or program whoever developed the OS, whether it is a Mac, Unix, Linux, except Linux, Unix, the Windows or the Mac, can we see that whatever coding or the programs the developer has written, can we see that?
No, sir.
No, we can't see. But no. Now, here what happens? Now here what happens? Who developed the Linux OS? Linux. Yes, Linux OS is designed by, do you know his name? Anybody who designed the Linux OS? Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, so please remember, Linux OS is designed by Linus Torvalds. Linux is designed by Linus Torvalds. So Linux is designed by Linus Torvalds. So this person is from Finland. Like Bill Gates is from the USA. Same way Linus Torvalds is from Finland, a small country in the Europe. So this gentleman, what did he did? When the Unix was dying, because Unix was actually developed by AT&T company, American Telephone and Telegraph. So the main problem with the Unix was it is a proprietary based operating system, similar to like we have today the Mac OS. So what they did, whatever coding and program they written to design the Unix OS, which was completely text mode, no graphical interface. So they made it to install it on their particular hardware, AT&T. By that, they earned a lot of money. Then the other bigger companies like the Solaris OS is designed, Unix OS designed by the Sun company. Then IBM designed, these are all Unix-based OS. The IBM company designed AIX, HP company designed HPUX. So all these are hardware-dependent OS, means Solaris OS can be installed on Sun machine, AIX can be installed on IBM machine, HPUX Unix can be installed on HP machine. So suppose I'm having IBM and I got a project new. In that AIX is not supporting, I have to install HPUX. Can I install? No. I have to completely change the complete hardware. So because of this drawback, so first major operating system was Unix. Then came the Windows. So when Unix was learning, or when Windows was, when Unix was at peak, maximum people were using only Unix, because at that time there was in 1973 it was released Unix, and up to 1980s no major OS was there. Most of the people they were not having any option, but they were using what? Unix only. So this problem was there, no like hardware independency. If any company just switch from one project to another, if they have to change the OS, means they have to completely change the hardware, and graphical interface was not there. So this gentleman, Bill Gates, he studied that drawback and he came up with what? Windows OS around 1983 or 84, client OS first. So he introduced two major things in that: graphical interface plus hardware independence, which can be installed on any machine. No need to change the hardware. So most of the people started liking that because it is easy to operate and hardware independent. So by the 1990s, maximum computers started using only companies, and the people started using Windows, and they started raising their license key very often, very frequently, because there was no competitor to them. Then this gentleman, Linus Torvald from Finland country, so he thought people should have the option. He's not saying Windows is not good. He's saying Windows might be very good, but some people might be interested in using the other OS other than Windows, and they should have the freedom from license issue. So using this objective, he took the Unix OS and he studied that, and from the Unix, like Bill Gates designed Windows from DOS. This gentleman Linus Torvald, using the Unix, he designed what? A new kernel which is called Linux. Then whatever coding and program Linus Torvald designed to develop the Linux OS, he wanted the people to have the freedom from license issue. So what he did, whatever coding and program he has written to design Linux kernel, he put it over the internet, which anybody can not only access but can modify. That's why Linux is called as open source operating system. Are you understanding? Did you able to understood what is the meaning of the open source?
Yes, sir.
So I repeat once again, open source means to design any OS, the developer has to write some coding or the program. In one word, you can call that as a source code also. So generally, whoever design their OS, they will never show the coding or the program what they have written source code to others. But this gentleman, Linus Torvald, who designed the Linux kernel, he put whatever coding and program he designed to develop that Linux kernel, he put it over the internet, which anybody not only access can modify. That's why Linux main feature is open source. That is the reason the Linux is called open source. So some people think open source means free. No, it is not correct. Free is different, open source is different. Free means for that there is no charges for the OS. But open source means the source code through which that OS has been designed. Normally it will be not visible, or we can't see normally as a person's. But this gentleman, just give me a minute, my battery got low.
मेरी टीवी बंद करके आओ, मामा काम कर रहे थे चला कौन ये माई है ये माई ऐसा भाई भाई नहीं देखी ना उसने आया था ये दिन तो नहीं देखे तेरी मम्मी का नहीं थी वो देखने का आया था आज बिस्तर ऐसा नक्को ऐसा था
Okay, so here, now here, Linux is an open source operating system. Linux is an open source operating system. So I repeat once again, open source means the source code of the Linux operating system, which is designed by Linus Torvald. So whatever coding and program he has written, he put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify, which is not possible or which is not available in any other OS. Is it clear for everyone what is meant by open source? Is it clear to everyone what is open source?
Yes, sir.
You are replying, I am not sure about other two. If they reply also, it will be good. Yes, are you there? Rohit and Sidhu? I think Rohit at least gave the answer, but Sidhu, I am not sure. Are you there, Sidhu? If you are there, please can you write it at least? Yes, something like that. At least can I get the reply from Rohit? Yes, are you following? Rohit. I am not getting the reply. Okay, can I continue, Rajshekhar? Because they are
Yes,
not
sir.
replying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at least you are following what we are discussing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So Linux is an open source operating system. Why it is called open source? Because the source code of this Linux, which is designed, Linux kernel, which is designed by Linus Torvald from Finland country, is freely available over the internet, which anybody can access. Not only we can access, but we can also make the changes. That's why the Linux is called open source operating system. So this feature is not there in any OS. So this is the main feature which attract the people. Apart from that, it is very secure. It is very secure. One of the another important feature why you will find most of the servers in the company using the Linux means this OS is very fast. It works faster. Okay, so these are some of the features with very good high security. Plus, the OS, Linux OS can be installed on multiple partition, which we'll be discussing. So if any OS folder get corrupted in Windows, entire OS will be got corrupted or will get corrupted. But in Linux, we can install Linux OS on multiple partition. So even if one of the OS folder get corrupted, that folder belong to which partition, maximum it will get affected, not entire OS. So these features makes Linux very suitable for servers especially. That's why you will see maximum, like I think you or some our friend Rohit said initially. That's why we will use mostly our companies are using Linux as their server operating system on their servers. So one of the commonly asked question in the people mind is, we have so many flavors in Linux. Which flavor we have to learn? So here you can see most commonly uses Red Hat. Now another question they will ask is, if we suppose learn Red Hat, can we able to work on SUSE, Debian? Because if we get a job in some company might be using SUSE or Debian. Can we able to use it? So the answer for that question is very simple. You can see all these flavors are been designed. The common thing will be the Linux kernel, which is designed by Linus Torvald. So in all the flavors of Linux OS, the common structure architecture will be same, Linux kernel. So since you cannot as it is put the OS which designed by Linus Torvald, you have to make some, you have to add, or you have to make some modification. Then you can have your own OS with your own what you can say logo. So that's why what the companies are doing, they are taking the source code of the Linus Torvald kernel they will add here and there some features. And then they will release their OS with their name, like Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Kali Linux, SUSE, Debian, Turbo, one Indian name, Boss, Bharat operating system solution. Like this. You can also, if you are good with C language, you can take that source code free of cost. You don't have to pay anything to Linux Torvald. Just add some features to it. As it is, you cannot release. Just to add some features to it, then you can release your own OS with your own name. So what I'm trying to say is that once you are good with any one flavor, you can work on other flavor. So for that, one simple example is, suppose you know car driving, Maruti, Suzuki, something 800. Now after few years, you purchase the luxury higher end car, might be Tata Sumo something. So do you need to learn the driving again? Do you need to learn the driving again? No. The features might be here and there slightly difference. So within few days, once you do driving, you will get adjusted. Same way, if you are good with any one flavor, you have to learn any one flavor, then you can able to work on any other flavor. So most of the, as per the servers in Linux, they are using what? Red Hat. So our coaching also will be on Red Hat through the CentOS because both are exactly same. I'll tell you the difference between Red Hat and CentOS also. Just I'm giving the overview. So once you learn the Red Hat, you can work on Debian also, Ubuntu also, Turbo. So some commands might be same, but some command may not be same for some particular task. So as you know, in Linux, we mostly use this command to do the work. So for particular task, suppose you know the command in Red Hat, you type it in SUSE or Debian, it is not working. What the people are doing, immediately they'll type the equivalent command. But you should know the command in one flavor. If it is not supporting in other flavor, just Google it. Equivalent command, you'll get it, type it. That's how you will work. I hope you are following. Is it clear up to this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then let's go to the basic question which I started. So what is the purpose of the shell and Linux? We'll come to that. Now, please remember the first layer of the Linux OS is what? The Linux shell. So Linux is more secure compared to the Windows. Why? In Windows, do have this shell? No. In Windows, you don't have the shell. The shell is present in Linux. So what is the purpose of the shell? So first thing what it will do, once we open the terminal, to apply the command in Windows, we write or use what? Command prompt. In Linux, we have to open the terminal. So what is the default shell we use in Linux? Bin bash. So this is our terminal. So once you write the command, first thing what the shell will do, it will check the command is correct or not. If it is not correct, we'll get immediately the answer, command not found. If the command is correct, then what it will do, it will check that command is given by super user or normal user. Super user means in Linux, we call the administrator account or super user account as, do you know the name? Yes, anybody? In the here in Linux, the administrator is called with what name? Can I get the reply from any one of you? Yes, Rajshekhar, Rohit, and Sidhu. What is the administrator account here in Linux is called?
Root you.
Yes, very nice, root user. So once the command is given, suppose by a user, so command is correct. The command is correct. The command is correct, but that command is given by the user. Which user it will check? So if the command is given, suppose by the normal user, and that normal user don't have the privilege to execute that command. So most of the command normal user cannot execute. So once the command is given by the normal user and that user don't have that privilege, immediately what the shell will do, it will prompt a message, access denied or permission denied. It means the user don't have the privilege. If suppose that user or root has given that command or that user have the privilege for a small command like ls, given the command, what the shell will do? First, it will check command is correct or not. If it is correct, it will check that user have the privilege or not. Suppose the user have the privilege. So immediately what the command, what the shell will do, the command is given in high level language. So the computer don't understand, hardware of the computer don't understand high level language. So what the shell will do, if the command is correct and the user have the privilege, immediately that command which is given by the user, which is in high level language, it will change it into binary. That changing from high level to binary, we can't, so it will happen in a fraction of second in the background. So it changes into the binary, and where it will send it now, once the command is correct and the user have the privilege, that command will be accepted by the shell, and it will translate the command given by the user will be in high level language. So the shell will translate it into binary and it send it to the kernel. So this is what happens when we open the terminal. Then once the command is received by the kernel, which will be in binary format. Now the kernel is something like a core. You can say core or the brain of the Linux OS. So as you know, in our body, what is the function of the brain? It will not do any task, but it will control and manage all the tasks. Which part of the body should do what work in which scenario? It will be controlled in fraction of second by. It will take the work from our body by our brain. Which work we are doing, which part of our body should do that work. So for human beings, it is appears like it comes naturally, but in our body, who will do all this work? Brain. So brain will control all our activities. So which action or which task should be done by which part of our body will be decided, controlled and managed by brain. That work will be done by that part, but under whom guidance or under whom action it will be done? Under the brain. So same way, once the task come to the kernel will not do the task, but it will decide this particular task should be done by which particular part of the machine. So who will do that task? Processor. The main part of the machine is what? Processor. It will send to that. The task will be done. Now output is ready. Now the output is in binary format. So it will come to the kernel. What the kernel will do once the task is ready and output is ready, it will again send it back to the shell. So when input is given as a command on the terminal that is on shell, it will be in high level language. So once the command is correct and user have the privilege, the shell will convert that from high level to binary and send to the kernel. Now the kernel, once it will send to the processor, the task is done, output comes to the kernel. What the kernel will do? It will send the output which is in binary format to the shell. Now it comes to the shell. Now shell will convert that output which is in binary format to high level and it displays on the Linux. It displays on the monitor. So this is how the Linux OS will work in the background. So do you have such checking in the Windows? No. So in Windows, what happens? There is no security layer, shell. So whatever command you give, it will be executed. And plus in Linux, the files will not have execute permission. So if anybody sends some virus file to the Windows machine, user knowingly or unknowingly run that file, the machine will get corrupted. But suppose if some file is being sent to the Linux machine by somebody, unknown person, and user knowingly or unknowingly trying to execute, can he run? No, because unknown commands will not be executed by the shell. So the shell will run only the programs which are predefined in the OS, that only it will allow. So this is the security you have in Linux, which you don't have in Windows. So that is the reason virus cannot attack generally when you work with the commands through the Linux OS. So this makes Linux secure. Plus, in Linux, the files are identified with the alphabet and symbol, whereas in Windows, the files will be identified with extension like text file.txt, executable file.exe, database file.dat, media file mp3. But whereas in Linux, it will be identified with symbols and alphabet like normal file hyphen. When we start the practical, I'll show you hidden file dot, first letter, a link file L, a directory D, like that. It will identify not with extension, but either alphabet or symbols. And in Linux, there is no execute permission. So if user want to execute some file, he can't. Unknown files. So this makes Linux very secure and safe. That is the reason you will find most of the servers today in the companies are working on the Linux. And this course which we are doing and discussing is a basic foundation course, level 1. So once this course is done, you can move to the next level, like for AWS, DevOps, VMware admin, database, Hadoop. For all this in compulsory, you need the knowledge of the Linux. So that's why this course is very important, because as you know, when our foundation fundamental is strong, we can move to the higher level. So what are the topics which we are going to discuss? Let me take it tomorrow, because I want to give the brief and good idea so that you can decide to continue with this course or not. So now, since the time is over, can we discuss these topics which we are going to cover in this course tomorrow? Will it be
Yes,
fine?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tomorrow we will discuss.
Okay. Then you decide it whether you want to join or not. Okay. So I got good reply from you only, but I'm not sure about other two people. They are not replying. Rohit and Sidhu, at least now we are going to end the session for today now. Have you understood, Rohit? At least you reply, because once you replied. Are you there, Rohit and Sidhu?
हाँ, तू और मैं भी इधर डाल लो गली थोड़ी पत्ती मैं नहीं आने दे so that
I don't know. My voice is going to them, or they are just not listening. I don't know. Okay. At least Rajshekhar, did you understood, or any question, any doubt about whatever we discussed today?
Understood, sir. No questions, sir.
Okay. So can I wind up the session and we'll meet tomorrow, same time, 10,
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
discuss
sir.
the
Thank you,
topic?
sir.
Okay. Thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow. I'm
Yes.
closing.